The largest fleet in galactic history arrived at Earth's solar system like a metal storm. 500 Vorthak warships, each one capable of destroying a city, moved in perfect formation toward the small blue planet that had humiliated their empire. Emperor Vexthul himself commanded the massive armada from his flagship, the Eternal Dominion. The ship was 3 miles long and carried enough firepower to level continents. He had come personally to witness the final conquest of the troublesome humans. "Show me these creatures that dare resist our empire," he commanded. Admiral Sang-Ho watched the approaching fleet from his hidden command ship and felt no fear. Instead, he felt something the Vorthak would not understand: excitement. This was the moment humanity had been preparing for since they first looked at the stars. "All stations, this is Fleet Command," he broadcast. "Operation Apex is now active. Time to show them what Apex predators look like when they stop holding back." Captain Su-Young received new orders that made her smile. She commanded not just human ships now, but vessels from 12 different species that the Vorthak had conquered over the centuries. Word of humanity's resistance had spread quickly through the galaxy, and former slaves were eager to join the fight. "Attention, Allied fleet," she transmitted to the mixed group of ships surrounding her. "Today we prove that the age of Vorthak dominance is over. Follow the human lead and show them how free beings fight." The coalition fleet included species the humans had never met before. The aquatic Kalari provided ships that could phase in and out of normal space. The energy-based lumens offered vessels that could become nearly invisible. The insectoid Zakti brought swarm tactics that overwhelmed traditional defenses. All of them had one thing in common: they had been defeated by the Vorthak and forced into slavery. Now they saw hope in the small mammals who refused to surrender. Colonel Jae-hyun coordinated the ground defense from his position on Earth's surface. The Vorthak invasion force had been trapped in major cities for weeks, unable to advance or retreat effectively. Now he prepared to show them what human combined arms warfare really looked like. "All units switch to full combat protocols," he ordered. "No more playing around. Time to finish this." The change was immediate and overwhelming. Human forces that had been hiding their true capabilities suddenly revealed weapons and tactics the aliens had never imagined. Orbital bombardment platforms that had appeared to be communication satellites began targeting Vorthak positions with precision strikes. Major Ki-min led the assault on the Seoul occupation force. His soldiers emerged from hidden positions with equipment that made their previous attacks look like training exercises. Power armor, energy weapons, and tactical support systems that turned individual humans into walking military units. "For 3 months we have been gentle with you," he announced over loudspeaker to the trapped aliens. "We wanted you to understand that resistance was possible. Now you will learn what resistance means when humans stop being nice." The battle for Seoul lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the entire Vorthak ground force had surrendered or been eliminated. Similar scenes played out in every major city on Earth, as human forces revealed their true military capability. In space, the real demonstration was beginning. Emperor Vexthul watched in growing alarm as his massive fleet encountered resistance unlike anything in Vorthak military history. The humans did not meet them in traditional battle formation. Instead, they used the entire solar system as their battlefield. Ships appeared from behind planets, emerged from asteroid fields, and struck from directions the Vorthak had not even considered possible. Fleet Admiral Min-ho commanded the human battle fleet from the EDS Incheon, a ship that dwarfed anything the aliens had seen from humanity before. The vessel had been hidden in Earth's moon, disguised as a mining operation for over a year. "Target their command structure," he ordered. "Not to destroy them, but to isolate them. Make each ship fight alone instead of as a coordinated fleet." The human strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of trying to destroy 500 ships, they focused on breaking the communication and command networks that held the fleet together. Without coordination, the massive Vorthak armada became a collection of individual vessels fighting separate battles. Captain Yuri had been promoted to squadron commander and now led 50 stealth destroyers in coordinated wolfpack attacks. Her ships moved through the Vorthak formation like sharks through a school of fish, striking critical targets and vanishing before the aliens could respond. "Remember," she told her captains, "we are not trying to win a fair fight. We are trying to win." The Vorthak tried to use their superior numbers and firepower, but human tactics made both advantages useless. Every time they concentrated their forces, the humans attacked from a different direction. Every time they spread out to cover more space, human ships picked off isolated vessels. Most disturbing to Emperor Vexthul was the realization that the humans were holding back. Intelligence reports showed weapons and defenses that had not yet been revealed. The creatures his empire had planned to enslave were toying with them. Commander Nayang delivered the message that changed everything. Her ship, the EDS Sol, appeared directly in front of the Vorthak flagship and broadcast on all frequencies. "Emperor Vexthul," she said, her voice calm and professional. "I am Commander Nayang of the Earth Defense Coalition. I bring you a message from humanity." The Emperor found himself staring at a small human female who showed no fear of his massive warship or the firepower pointed at her vessel. "Your empire has made a mistake," Nayang continued. "You saw our kindness and mistook it for weakness. You saw our compassion and thought it meant we could not fight. You were wrong." Behind her ship, the space around Earth began to fill with human vessels. Not dozens or hundreds, but thousands, ships that had been hidden throughout the solar system, disguised as civilian craft or industrial equipment, revealed their true nature. "We are giving you one chance," Nayang said. "Withdraw your forces from Earth and return to your territory. Agree to leave humanity and our allies alone. Do this and you may leave in peace." Emperor Vexthul felt something he had never experienced before. Genuine fear. The small creature on his screen was offering him mercy while surrounded by enough firepower to destroy his entire fleet. "And if we refuse?" he asked. Nayang's expression did not change, but something cold appeared in her eyes. "Then you will learn why every predator on Earth fears only one species, us." The Emperor looked at his tactical displays. His fleet was being systematically dismantled by enemies he could barely track. His ground forces had been defeated on every continent, and now thousands of human ships surrounded his armada like wolves circling wounded prey. "You would destroy us all?" he asked. "No," Nayang replied. "Destruction is what you do to enemies you respect. What we do to threats against our home is much worse. We erase them completely. No ships return home. No survivors tell the story. You simply disappear, and the galaxy wonders what happened to the mighty Vorthak Empire." The silence on the Emperor's bridge was complete. His officers stared at the small human who had just threatened to commit genocide with the same calm tone she might use to discuss the weather. But what terrified them most was the realization that she could do exactly what she promised. The human fleet around them was large enough to ensure that no Vorthak ship escaped to tell the tale. "However," Nayang continued, "we prefer not to be monsters. We are offering you the choice to leave with your lives and your dignity intact, the same mercy you refused to offer us." Emperor Vexthul looked around his bridge at officers who had conquered half the galaxy. All of them avoided his eyes. They had been beaten by creatures they had planned to keep as pets, and everyone knew it. "We will consider your offer," he said finally. "You have 1 hour," Nayang replied. "Choose wisely, Emperor. This is the only mercy you will receive from humanity." Her ship vanished back into the human fleet, leaving the Vorthak to face the most humiliating decision in their empire's history: surrender to species they had underestimated, or face complete annihilation at the hands of predators who had been pretending to be prey. The war for Earth was ending. But the galaxy's understanding of humanity was just beginning. Admiral Sang-ho received the coded signal he had been waiting for. Deep in the asteroid belt, hidden facilities began powering up systems that had been silent for months. The time for hiding was over. "All stations, this is Fleet Command Actual," he broadcast on encrypted channels. "Operation Persistence is now active. Show them what humanity really looks like when we stop playing nice." Across the solar system, human ships emerged from hiding places the Vorthak had never suspected existed. Asteroid mining stations revealed themselves to be military bases. What appeared to be empty space suddenly filled with vessels that had been running silent for weeks. Captain Yuri commanded the stealth destroyer EDS Gwangju, one of 12 ships specifically designed to hunt larger enemies. Her vessel had been shadowing the Vorthak fleet for days, studying their formations and identifying weaknesses. "Target the command ship's communication array," she ordered her weapons officer. "Let them know we are here." The first strike came without warning. Vorthak Fleet Admiral Vexthor was reviewing casualty reports when explosions rocked his flagship. Alarms screamed throughout the massive vessel as damage reports flooded in. "What happened?" he demanded. "Unknown, sir. We detected no enemy ships. Our sensors show empty space in all directions, and that is impossible." Something hit us. The answer came from his science officer, who was frantically checking sensor data. Sir, I am detecting a small vessel approximately 2 kilometers off our starboard side. It appears to have some kind of stealth technology. Before Vex Thor could respond, another explosion shook his ship. Then another. The small human vessel was systematically destroying his communication systems while remaining nearly invisible to their sensors. All ships, engage that vessel, Vex Thor ordered. 12 Vorthak warships turned their weapons toward the tiny human destroyer. Massive energy beams and missile volleys filled the space where the EDS Gwangju had been moments before, but Captain Yuri was no longer there. Persistence hunting, people, she announced to her crew. We strike, we move, we strike again. Never give them a chance to pin us down. The EDS Gwangju reappeared behind the Vorthak formation and destroyed the engines of one of their cruisers before vanishing again. The aliens found themselves fighting an enemy they could barely see, who attacked without warning and disappeared before they could retaliate. But Yuri's ship was not alone. All across the solar system, human vessels were emerging from hiding to begin the real war. Commander Insu led a squadron of 6 frigates in what humans called an endurance assault. Instead of trying to destroy the Vorthak ships quickly, his forces focused on wearing them down slowly and methodically. Target their weapon systems, he ordered. Not to destroy them, but to force them to waste energy on repairs. We want them tired, frustrated, and making mistakes. The human ships darted in and out of weapons range, delivering precise strikes that damaged but did not destroy their targets. Every time the Vorthak tried to pursue, the humans led them into carefully prepared ambush zones where more ships waited. This is not how space battles work, complained Vorthak Captain Thexvar as his ship suffered its 15th minor attack in 6 hours. Why do they not stand and fight? The answer came from Earth's surface, where General Jiwoo was coordinating the global resistance. Her forces had been studying Vorthak behavior and had identified a critical weakness. They fight like warriors, she explained to her staff. Warriors value honor, courage, and direct confrontation. But we are not warriors. We are predators. And predators value only one thing: victory. The difference was becoming clear to both sides. The Vorthak expected battles to follow certain rules. Enemies should face each other directly. The stronger force should win quickly. Honor should be preserved even in defeat. Humans followed no such rules. They attacked from unexpected directions. They used the enemy's strengths against them. They treated war not as a contest of honor, but as a hunt where only survival mattered. Major Keeman demonstrated this philosophy in Seoul. His forces had been harassing the Vorthak occupation for 3 days, but now he escalated the campaign. Time for the next phase, he told his officers. We stop hiding and start hunting. The change was immediate and terrifying. Instead of hit-and-run attacks, human forces began sustained campaigns designed to eliminate Vorthak units completely. They used overwhelming firepower when they had the advantage and melted away when they did not. Most disturbing to the aliens was the humans' psychological warfare. Lieutenant Yejin had been broadcasting Earth's nature documentaries to Vorthak communication frequencies, showing footage of human ancestors hunting massive prehistoric beasts across continents. Look at this, she told Major Keeman, pointing to intercepted alien communications. They are starting to understand what persistence hunting means. The footage showed early humans following wounded prey for days or weeks, never stopping, never giving up until the larger and stronger animal collapsed from exhaustion. It was a hunting method that relied not on strength or speed but on endurance and intelligence. They are realizing, Keeman said, that we will never stop, we will never give up, and we will never let them rest. In space, Admiral Sang-ho was proving the same point. His fleet had grown from hidden reserve to active hunting force in just days. Every Vorthak ship in the solar system was now under constant pressure from enemies they could not effectively fight. Captain Yuri had been joined by 11 other stealth destroyers. The small human ships worked together like a wolf pack, coordinating their attacks to maximize damage while minimizing risk. Alpha strike in 30 seconds. Yuri transmitted to her squadron. Target the flagship's main reactor housing. Make them think we are trying to destroy the ship. The 12 ships attacked simultaneously, overwhelming the Vorthak defenses for just long enough to place precise shots on non-critical systems. The alien flagship's lights flickered and backup power activated, making the crew believe they were about to die. But the humans were not trying to destroy the ship. They were trying to break the crew's will to fight. Psychological pressure, explained Dr. Hei-Wan from her analysis station. We want them afraid, not dead. Fear makes people make mistakes. The strategy was working. Fourth Act communications were becoming increasingly panicked, as their forces realized they were fighting an enemy unlike anything in their experience of fleet. Admiral Vexthor made the decision his empire would later regret. Send the emergency signal, he ordered. Request immediate assistance from all available fleets. Sir, asked his communications officer, how many ships should we request? Vexthor looked at the tactical display showing human forces appearing and disappearing throughout the solar system like ghosts. His mighty fleet was being systematically destroyed by enemies they could barely detect. All of them, he said. Send every ship the Empire has. These Terrans are not what we thought they were. The message traveled across the galaxy to the Vorthak homeworld. Emperor Vexthor read the report with growing alarm. His best fleet admiral was requesting the entire Imperial Navy to deal with a species they had planned to keep as pets. What are these humans? The Emperor wondered aloud. He was about to find out. Commander Nei Young, monitoring the alien communications from the hidden command center, reported the Emperor's decision to Earth Defense Command. They are sending everything, she announced. 500 ships. The entire Vorthak battle fleet is coming to Earth. Admiral Hyunwoo smiled grimly. Good, let them come. It is time to show the galaxy what happens when you threaten humanity's home. The real war was about to begin, and humanity was ready to teach the galaxy a lesson about underestimating persistence predators. The first attack came at dawn. Landing Commander Krexvol was leading his patrol through downtown Seoul when the humans struck. One moment his squad was walking down an empty street, confident in their superiority. The next moment, 3 of his soldiers were down and the rest were diving for cover. Report, Krexvol roared into his communicator. Where did that come from? Unknown, sir, came the panicked reply. The shots came from multiple directions. I cannot locate the shooters. This was impossible. The Vorthak had the best military equipment in the galaxy. Their armor could detect heat signatures from a mile away. Their weapons could punch through solid steel. How could tiny humans hide from their sensors? Major Keeman watched the confused aliens from his position 3 blocks away. His sniper teams had been in place since before the landing. They knew every building, every tunnel, every hiding spot in the city. Phase 1 complete, he reported. The enemy is learning that our cities are not as empty as they appear. The Vorthak tried to regroup, but the attacks continued. Humans appeared from manholes, building windows, and rooftops. They fired quick bursts, then disappeared before the aliens could respond. When the Vorthak sent forces to investigate, they found nothing but empty spaces. This is not how warfare works, complained Sergeant Thekmar after his squad lost 2 more soldiers to invisible attackers. Where are their armies? Where are their battle lines? The answer came from Lieutenant Ye Jin, who was monitoring alien communications from her hidden position. The Vorthak were used to fighting other species that valued honor in combat, face-to-face battles between organized armies. They had no experience with enemies who treated war as a hunt. In New York, Commander Dongwu led a special forces unit through the subway tunnels. His target was a Vorthak command post that had been set up in Times Square. The aliens had chosen the location because it was open and easy to defend with conventional tactics. They had not considered that humans might attack from below. Remember, Dongwu told his team, we are not here to win a fair fight. We are here to win. The attack came from 6 different directions at once. Explosives destroyed the aliens' communication equipment. Smoke grenades filled the area with thick clouds that confused their sensors. And in the chaos, human soldiers moved like ghosts, striking targets and vanishing before the Vorthak could respond. When the smoke cleared, the aliens found their command post destroyed and 5 of their officers missing. The humans had taken prisoners for interrogation, something the Vorthak military manual said was impossible in urban combat. Fleet Admiral Vexthor received reports from all landing sites. Every single one told the same story. The adorable little Terrans were fighting like nothing his empire had ever encountered. They do not fight with honor, complained one of his commanders. They hide like cowards and strike from shadows. How many casualties? Vexthor asked. 200 dead, 50 missing, 400 wounded. And sir, we have not seen a single human body. We do not know how many of them we have killed. This news troubled Vexthor greatly. In every previous conquest, the Vorthak had inflicted 10 casualties for everyone they suffered. Against the humans, they were losing soldiers while inflicting no apparent damage on their enemy. In the hidden command bunker beneath Seoul, Dr. Haewon analyzed the psychological profile of their enemies. She had been studying Vorthak communications and behavior patterns since the first landing. "They are becoming afraid," she reported to Major Keeman. "Their radio chatter shows increasing stress and confusion. They expected to fight warriors, but we are acting like predators." "What is the difference?" Keeman asked. "Warriors fight for glory and honor. They follow rules and traditions. Predators fight to kill and survive. They adapt, learn, and use every advantage available." The interrogation of captured Vorthak soldiers revealed even more interesting information. Commander Dongwu had set up a secure facility where alien prisoners could be questioned safely. "They keep asking why we do not form battle lines," reported the interrogation officer. "They want to know where our army is hiding. They cannot understand that we do not have an army in the traditional sense." "What do they think we are?" Dongwu asked. "One of them called us small demons who fight like the death gods from their old mythology. They are starting to believe that humans are not the weak species they thought we were." The Vorthak Empire had conquered 47 different species over the past 2 centuries. Some had been stronger than humans. Others had better technology. A few had even been more intelligent. But none had fought like this. Captain Rexhun transmitted his report from the London landing zone. "The little softskins do not act like any species we have encountered. They work together like pack hunters. When we attack one group, others appear behind us. When we secure an area, they return after we leave. They are everywhere and nowhere." The most disturbing reports came from the soldiers who had been rescued from human capture. They told stories that frightened even veteran Vorthak warriors. "They questioned us with smiles on their faces," reported Sergeant Grixmal. "They gave us food and medical care while asking about our military plans. When I refused to answer, they showed me videos of their history, wars where millions died, weapons that could destroy entire cities. They are not weak. They are pretending to be weak." Admiral Vexathor studied these reports with growing concern. The evidence was becoming impossible to ignore. The cute, harmless creatures his empire had come to rescue were actually accomplished killers who had been hiding their true nature. "Send a message to the Emperor," he ordered. "Request immediate reinforcements. All available battle fleets." "Sir?" asked his communications officer. What should I tell him about the situation? Vexthor thought carefully before answering. How could he explain that an empire which had conquered half the galaxy was being defeated by creatures they had planned to keep as pets? "Tell him the Terrans are not what they appeared to be," he said finally. "We need more ships." On Earth, the human resistance was just getting started. Major Keeman received new orders from High Command. Expand operations. The aliens were calling for help, which meant they recognized the threat. Now it was time to show them just how dangerous that threat could be. Phase 2 begins tomorrow, he told his officers. We have shown them we can hurt them. Now we show them we can hunt them. The Vorthak had come to Earth expecting to collect adorable pets. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous. Humanity was no longer hiding its true nature. The predators were coming out to play. In space, Admiral Hyunwoo monitored the situation from the hidden fleet. "How long before we reveal ourselves?" asked Captain Jinho. "Not yet," Hyunwoo replied. "Let them call their reinforcements. Let them bring their entire empire if they want. We will show them all what happens when you threaten humanity." The war for Earth had begun, and the Vorthak were already losing. The alarm bells rang throughout Earth Defense Coalition headquarters as 50 Vorthak warships appeared on the outer edge of the solar system. Each vessel was 3 times larger than Earth's biggest military ship. Captain Jinho stood on the bridge of the EDS Sejong, watching the massive alien fleet move toward Earth like a slow-moving storm. "Sir, incoming transmission," reported Communications Officer Park. "Put it through," Jinho ordered. The main screen filled with the image of Fleet Admiral Vexathor, his massive reptilian head adorned with golden markings that showed his high rank. When he spoke, his voice carried the tone of someone talking to a beloved but troublesome child. "Greeting, dear little Terrans," Vexthor began. "I am Fleet Admiral Vexthor of the Vorthak Imperial Navy. We have returned to offer you a wonderful gift." Jinho remained silent, letting the alien continue. "Your small, primitive world struggles with so many problems. War, hunger, disease, loneliness. We have watched your touching efforts to solve these issues, But you clearly need help from a more advanced civilization. The Admiral paused, his large eyes showing what seemed like genuine affection. We offer to bring you into our great empire. You will have protection, comfort, and guidance. No more will you need to worry about the harsh realities of survival. We will take care of everything for you. Dr. Yunji, the xenobiologist, stood beside Jinho taking notes. She had spent months studying every piece of Vorthak data they could gather. Her research painted a disturbing picture. "Captain," she whispered, "they have done this before. Every species they protect becomes slaves or pets. None maintain their independence." Vexthor continued his message. "We know this news might frighten you, precious ones. Change is always scary for small minds. But trust us. We have guided many species to better lives under our care." The alien leaned forward, his massive claws visible as he gripped the sides of his command chair. "You have 24 hours to prepare for relocation. We will begin with your major population centers. Please do not resist. We do not wish to use force against such delicate creatures, but we will use gentle restraint if necessary." The transmission ended. The bridge fell silent except for the soft hum of electronics. "Gentle restraint," Jinho repeated. "They plan to conquer us and call it rescue." Admiral Hyunwoo's voice came through the communication system. "All ships, this is Fleet Command. Implement Defense Protocol 7 immediately." Jinho knew what that meant. Protocol 7 was the plan they hoped never to use. It required the main fleet to retreat to the outer system, leaving Earth apparently defenseless except for basic orbital platforms and civilian security forces. "Sir," asked his weapons officer, "are we really going to run?" "No," Jinho replied. "We are going to let them think we are running." Colonel Tae-young had spent 5 years developing Protocol 7. The plan was based on a simple idea: let the enemy see what they expected to see. The Vorthak expected humans to be weak and frightened, so that is exactly what they would show them. "All military vessels will retreat to predetermined positions beyond Neptune," Tae-young explained during the emergency briefing. "We will leave only civilian ships and basic defense platforms visible to their sensors." "What about the hidden installations?" asked Commander Lee. "The moon base, asteroid facilities, and deep space platforms remain on full communication blackout. As far as the Vorthak know, they do not exist. The plan was risky. If the aliens decided to destroy Earth instead of capturing it, millions would die before the hidden fleet could respond. But intelligence suggested the Vorthak wanted humans alive and unharmed. They see us as valuable property," Dr. Yunji had explained. "They will not damage what they plan to collect." As the main Earth fleet moved to the outer system, the Vorthak interpreted this exactly as expected. Fleet Admiral Vexthor watched the human ships retreat and felt satisfied. "Look how they flee," he said to his officers. "Just as predicted. They recognize our superior strength and wisely avoid hopeless resistance." "Should we pursue them?" asked his tactical officer. "No need," Vexthor replied. "Those tiny ships pose no threat. Let them run to the edge of their system. We will collect them later after we secure the planet." The Vorthak fleet moved into Earth orbit. Their massive ships positioned themselves over major cities: New York, London, Tokyo, Seoul, Mumbai, São Paulo. Each vessel was large enough to cast shadows over entire districts. On the surface, humans watched the alien ships with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Most did not know about the secret defense plans. They saw their military apparently retreating and believed they had been abandoned. But in hidden bunkers around the world, military commanders prepared for a very different kind of war. Major Keeman commanded the Seoul Defense Corps from a facility built deep under the city. His forces consisted of 3,000 soldiers trained in urban warfare tactics that the Vorthak had never encountered. "Remember," he told his officers, "they expect us to surrender or run. They have no experience fighting an enemy that knows how to hide, adapt, and strike from unexpected directions." Similar preparations took place in every major city. The Vorthak saw orderly evacuation procedures and assumed humans were preparing to submit peacefully. They did not recognize the signs of a population preparing for guerrilla warfare. Dr. Yunji continued studying Vorthak military tactics, using data from their previous conquests. What she found gave her hope. "They are used to fighting enemies who meet them in open battle," she reported to Admiral Hyunwoo. "Large armies with conventional weapons fighting for territory. They have never faced an opponent that uses deception, misdirection, or psychological warfare." "What does that mean for us?" the Admiral asked. It means they are about to encounter something completely outside their experience. They know how to defeat warriors. They have no idea how to fight predators. The first Vorthak shuttles began landing in major cities 18 hours after their ultimatum. The aliens expected to find frightened civilians waiting for rescue. Instead, they found empty streets and buildings that seemed deserted. "Where are the little Terrans?" wondered Landing Commander Krexfall as his troops deployed in downtown Seoul. "They should be here waiting for us." The Vorthak had studied human behavior for months, but only through entertainment and cultural broadcasts. They had never seen footage of human military operations or studied human history of warfare. If they had, they might have recognized the signs. Empty cities meant ambush. Silence meant preparation. And the apparent retreat of Earth's fleet meant the real war was about to begin. In his command bunker, Major Keeman watched the aliens spread through his city. They moved in formation, but it was a formation designed for open battlefield combat, not urban warfare. "They walk like they own the place," observed Lieutenant Choi. "They think they do," Keeman replied. "Let them think that for a few more hours. Then we will show them the difference between owning territory and controlling it." Above Earth, the Vorthak fleet maintained orbit. Confident in their overwhelming advantage, Fleet Admiral Vexthor prepared his report to the Emperor. "The Terrans have accepted our guidance," he would write. "Resistance was minimal. Integration will proceed smoothly." He had no idea that every move his forces made was being watched, recorded, and analyzed by an enemy that had spent centuries perfecting the art of warfare. The Vorthak were about to learn why humans were the apex predator on their planet. The trap was set. Soon it would spring. The massive warships of the Vorthak Empire floated in the cold darkness of space. Inside the biggest ship, Commander Thekvar watched the screens with growing excitement. His long claws clicked against the metal table as he studied the strange signals coming from a small blue planet. "What do you see?" asked his second officer, a warrior named Grixtal. Thekvar pointed at the screen. "Look at these creatures. They call themselves humans." The screen showed videos from Earth. Children playing with small furry animals, people crying at sad movies, humans hugging each other when they were happy or sad, gardens full of flowers that served no purpose except beauty, art galleries where humans stared at colorful paintings for hours. "They are so small," Grixtal said. "And soft-looking." "Yes," Thekvar agreed. "Look how they care for their young. And see how they treat those tiny animals? They feed them and give them warm places to sleep." More videos played. Humans rescuing cats from trees. People crying over dead pets. Children sharing food with stray dogs. Humans building hospitals for sick animals that had no use in war or work. "These Terrans are amazing," said another officer named Vexmar. "They waste so much time and energy on useless things." The Vorthak officers laughed. In their culture, only strength mattered. Weak things died. That was the natural way. But these humans seemed to protect everything weak and small. "Sir," said the communications officer, "we intercepted more of their broadcasts. They have something called animal rescue videos, where they save creatures that are hurt or lost." Thekvar watched a video of humans carefully helping a bird with a broken wing. The humans spent hours making the bird healthy again, then released it into the sky. They gained nothing from this action except happiness. "Fascinating," Thekvar said. "They help creatures that cannot help them back." The Vorthak had been watching Earth for months. Every transmission made them more certain that humans were the most adorable creatures in the galaxy. They were small, emotional, and seemed to care more about feelings than fighting. "Look at this," Grixtal said, pointing to a new video. "They have contests to see who can make the best food. Not to prove strength, but just for fun." The video showed humans in a cooking competition. They smiled and helped each other even though they were supposed to be competing. When someone made a mistake, others offered encouragement instead of mocking them. "And here," Vexmar added, "they have something called therapy animals. They bring small creatures to comfort humans who are sad or sick." Thekvar shook his massive head in wonder. "These Terrans need constant emotional support. They cannot handle stress without help from even smaller creatures." The war room filled with the sound of Vorthak laughter. These humans were clearly the weakest species they had ever encountered, but that made them perfect. "Sir," said the science officer, "our analysis shows they have basic technology. Simple weapons, small ships, primitive defenses. They focus most of their resources on entertainment and comfort." "Excellent," Thekvar said. "Send a message to the Emperor. Tell him we have found the perfect addition to our empire. The message traveled quickly through space to the Vorthak homeworld. Emperor Vexthol read the report with great interest. His empire controlled hundreds of worlds, but none had creatures as charming as these humans. They would make wonderful pets, the Emperor decided. Send a diplomatic mission. We must see these adorable Terrans for ourselves. Back on Earth, Captain Do-hyun was working late in the Earth Defense Coalition headquarters when the communication alert sounded. Lieutenant So-jin ran into his office with excitement and worry on her face. "Sir, we have received our first alien transmission," she said. Do-hyun felt his heart race. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries. "What do they say?" So-jin played the message. A deep rumbling voice spoke in perfect English. "Greetings, precious little Terrans. We are the mighty Vorthak Empire. We have watched your adorable society with great interest. We wish to meet your kind and offer our protection to such delicate creatures." Do-hyun frowned. "Precious, adorable, delicate? That is not all, sir," So-jin continued. "They want to arrange a meeting. They say they come in peace to help the sweet little humans join their great empire." Admiral Hyunwoo arrived within the hour. He listened to the message 3 times before speaking. "They sound like they are talking to children," he said. "This concerns me. Should we refuse contact?" Do-hyun asked. "No," Hyunwoo replied, "but we will be very careful. Alert all defense stations. Keep our real military strength hidden. Let them see only our civilian operations and basic security forces." Commander Bora was chosen to lead the human delegation. She was small, friendly, and had a talent for making people feel comfortable. Perfect for this first meeting. 3 days later, a Vorthak ship arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system. It was not a massive war vessel, but a smaller diplomatic craft. The aliens wanted to avoid scaring the timid little humans. The meeting took place on a neutral space station. When the Vorthak delegates entered the room, the humans were shocked by their size. The aliens stood 9 feet tall with thick scales and powerful muscles. Their teeth looked sharp enough to cut metal. But the Vorthak spoke to the humans like parents talking to small children. "Oh, you are even more adorable in person," said the lead delegate Yexhun, so tiny and soft. "You must be very frightened to meet such large beings." Bora played her role perfectly. She smiled nervously and seemed impressed by the aliens' size and strength. She showed them pictures of human culture, focusing on art, music, and peaceful activities. "We love to create beautiful things," she said, "and we care for all living creatures, even the smallest ones." The Vorthak delegates were charmed. They watched videos of humans feeding birds and rescuing trapped animals. They saw human children playing gentle games and sharing toys. "Your species is remarkable," Yexhun said. "So pure and innocent. You clearly need stronger beings to protect you from the dangerous galaxy." The meeting lasted 4 hours. The Vorthak left convinced that humans were the most precious creatures they had ever encountered. They reported back to their empire that Earth contained a race of adorable, harmless beings who would benefit greatly from Vorthak guidance. As the alien ship departed, Admiral Hyunwoo watched from the command center. "They underestimate us completely," he said. Do-hyun nodded. "The question is, will they return in peace or with conquest in mind?" "Prepare for both possibilities," Hyunwoo ordered. "And pray we are wrong about their intentions." 3 months later, long-range sensors detected a much larger Vorthak fleet approaching Earth. The aliens had not come back for friendship. They had come to collect their new pets.